started right after this part is so speaking of which is so as you know, as I'm a little bit I'm tech literate. I'm not gonna go
Also
farther
an
than
apple,
that.
but
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna go
literate.
farther than that. I'm tech literate.
Yeah.
So one of the new employees was getting educated on the system that we had to use, and she's like, "Oh, well, you have to." And when the person orientating her, one of the other fellow employees, was like, "Oh, you gotta press this button, and then you put the thing through here, and then once that's run, then you hit this button." And telling her all this stuff, and she's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to write this down." I'm like, "You don't need to write it down." And they both turn to me and they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You don't need to write it down. It says it right on the screen." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, right at the bottom of the screen, it tells you what you need to push." And the employee doing the orientation was like, "Wait, what? It does?" And I walk over and I point at the part of the screen with telling that, and she's like, "Oh, I never looked down there before." I'm like, "Oh, Jesus fucking Christ."
At least the new employee has the excuse of being a new employee.
Yeah, wow, that's... By the way, I'm probably gonna bow out early from the stream at some point.
Oh,
So
okay.
just to let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, today was the first day working the new job. It was fantastic.
Oh, no, it's good to hear. It's good to hear.
You had a real job. I'm so happy for you, Max.
I got to do my job.
That's
the
always a
important
beautiful
part.
feeling.
Anyway, we've waffled on long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. On with the garbage.
Hit this button here. And when I hit this button here, there we go. Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9003, episode 70. I'm your host, Sneaky Devil. We got Max Wilson and the old crew here. And just us tonight. So, let us get this party started. With, how up to date are you guys on my magical girl lyrical nanoha?
0.
I've watched the first episode.
Ah, good. So we're all on the same boat here.
Yeah, pretty much.
I see. Then I guess we'll just have to skip that one.
I would say the same shit boat.
The same boat here. The same boat being heard of it, never fucking saw it. You know what
I've stared at it. That's about it.
You know what we haven't done in a while? We haven't done... wait. Hold on. No, I feel like we've... No, we've totally did this story before. Yep, no, we've definitely done this story. Damn it, we've done this story before. Why the fuck aren't you in Covered Fix? I swear to God, my fucking bookmarks sometimes are just schizophrenic.
I'd believe it.
Because they'll be like, "Oh, this is a great story to cover tonight," and it's just like, "Oh, we've already fucking done this." Like, shit, even I know that we've already done this. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's when you recognize it that it's particularly impactful.
Oh God, we've seen this before.
No, this is, damn, why are none of these, like, a good one to read? Okay, you know what? We're gonna do some fucking classic shit. Because I feel like hating on Ruby, because I just, Coral Alon just updated his newest chapter of, Rabbit Among Wolves.
Yeah.
At some point, I have to go back and reread Professor Ark, because, like, it was so long.
You really don't.
Oh, it got worse?
It's not that it got worse, it's just there's a noticeable drop in his quality compared to now.
Okay, basically, do you remember The Hangovers? The Hangover movie? Professor Ark is the Hangover movie, Professor Ark 2 is the Hangover 2. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying, Bless
I
him,
should
he's
point out I
trying,
never
but-
watched the Hangover movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
the
'Cause
general
I
consensus
was like,
is each
hey,
one was
that looks like
worse.
fucking garbage, and I was right.
Yeah, pretty much. But the general consensus is that with each iteration, it gets worse. Yeah. So
he's
it
trying
tries,
his best,
yeah,
but
he
they
tries. He really does.
the loop that we were the curveball that was smashed into our face in Volume 5 is kind of really affecting his stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, Core. I guess you could say unfortunately. Unfortunately, Core is the sort of author that just takes canon wholesale whenever they write their stories, and then
Yeah, but I'd argue that's still better than people like the dude writing Essence of Silver and Steel, who's like, "This is my headcanon I inserted, and I'm only telling you this because it's the author's
okay,
like,
yeah,
what the
true.
fuck is
But
wrong with
all
you?
I'm saying is that like. I see a lot of current RWBY stories that I'm currently reading that just looked at season 5's the whole God reveal and said, no, we're just going to pretend that entire thing didn't happen.
Yeah, which is honestly a decent way to go at it. There was really no need to add those.
Yeah, it really wasn't.
Also, maybe it's just me. I feel like Core should just go back to 3 story updates a week instead of the 5 he's doing.
Oh no, story's dead. Okay, I was
Oh.
I was gonna cover that story, but it's dead. It's gone. It's been deleted.
Full gone. You're like,
yeah, no,
most
I mean
stories are
like
sneaky.
gone. Like, I don't care if the story hasn't updated. I'm
This
talking
one has
like
been
this story is
snapped.
gone. Thanos
Yeah.
was here.
Fanfiction should update dead URLs to say Thanos was here.
Someone should hack fanfiction to update all the URLs to say Thanos was here. Alright, so this one isn't dead. Let us cover this one. But basically, my issue is that every single time Core updates one of his better stories, I'm talking like the better stories, Rabbit Among Wolves, Service with a Smile was pretty good actually, to be honest, for its premise.
And that one was nice because it wasn't a coffee shop at you. It was literally, I'm just gonna open a coffee shop in RWBY.
Yeah.
I'm opening a coffee shop. Why are you opening a coffee shop? Because I can.
Because I failed out a beacon. That's a fair enough statement.
Yeah, it wasn't like,
how
this
difficult
is
it going to be? Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? No, actually, massive inconveniences. I mean, basically on the edge of debt the entire time. Wow, this is getting really close to home here. I don't know if you should continue this. Oh, it's going to get worse. Oh, wow. This is reminding me too much of my life. I'm going to stop reading this story.
Oh, wow.
I mean, hold on a second. No, actually, I got nothing. Yeah, you do come pretty close to death on a regular basis.
Yeah, but that one was just nice.
Yeah, it was just a nice story to read. But every single time he updates his newer stuff, because he's really gotten into the groove of how to write at this point, how to write a narrative that isn't for a magazine at this point. And so when he's got a genuine premise, they're pretty good and they're pretty well written, and I like them. And it just reminds me every single time he updates how shit RWBY is. Because it's just like, wow, he's doing such a great job with this barely detailed statistic that was mentioned twice. And somehow Team RWBY fucked it all up. Why? Anyway.
Yeah. And he's been certain stories have been pointing out like, yeah, we call Osmond this genius, but boy, these are some stupid decisions on his part.
Yeah. I was actually talking to someone else last night, because they recommended to me a DxD fic, like the genuine recommendation, not like a cover on my podcast recommendation. They're like, oh yeah, this DxD fic is really good. And I'm like, okay, let me take a look at it. And it's like, taking place 400 years before canon, this original character self-insert goes around in the DxD verse doing things. I'm like, okay, well, that sounds cool and all, but why the fuck would I read this? And he's like, oh, well, it's really good. I'm like, I don't care how well it's written. I'm not gonna read a fan fiction of a work if it's like, the example I gave was that story was effectively someone making a movie about 5 guys doing donuts in the construction site of where the Grand Prix of the NASCAR rally is going to be held in 20 years.
Why do I give a shit?
It's like, I don't care that they were doing donuts in the construction site. Like, unless something happened that drastically changed the construction of the world, the Grand Prix thing, fucking whatever, then even then I probably wouldn't even care, because it's just like, it's meh. NASCAR's meh, DxD's meh. I thought it was an apt comparison. But it's just like, oh yeah, 400 years before, so none of the canon characters have even been born yet, except for like 5 of them. And at that point, either their personalities are going to be static, or they're going to be very different people. He's going to be doing a whole bunch of shit for butterflies we'll never see, because the main character is human, and he's going to remain human the entire story, which means he's going to die in 90 years, which means there's going to be 400 years left, or 300 years left, before canon even would have started. And it's just like, okay, well, it's a world I'm not overly interested in, because it's a world of tropes and genuine racism. Like, Odin is a decrepit, lecherous old man. That's some heavy shade being thrown. The Fallen are either psychopaths or just fucking stoners. That's a great depiction of fallen angels. The angels are uptight dickwads. And although the devils, they're super cool, actually. Just the most chillest of people. Except for all the evil ones that try to, annihilate reality. But, don't care about them. But
I mean, except for the guys that try to, what's the phrase? Oh, yeah. End the world.
Yeah. And, oh, my God. Oh, fuck! Thank you, Atin! Your accent has just reminded me of my unending rage at the Bernie Bro. And the final story that I wanted to tell Max, which is completely safe for this podcast, and I'll tell it and then we'll get into this story.
Yeah, okay, I just want to be sure. It's absolutely safe.
Oh, totally safe. Mentions nothing. So basically, right. It's my general way of dictation, I suppose you could say. Hey, you want to go sign the paper, you want to go take the money out, you want to go open the chest. And now we have an iterative workload, meaning that to get C done, B has to be done first. And B, in this instance, happened to be a double-locked steel trunk that requires 2 keys to open. I have 1 key. He has the other key. He was doing something else that wasn't opening the trunk. I'm like, hey, you want to open the trunk? And he's like, what you mean to say is, may you open the trunk?
What? Okay, first of all,
I was like,
may you is not...
That is fucking the wrong English completely. That is disgustingly bad grammar, first off. Second off, you want to open the fucking trunk so I can get my job done. Because I ain't doing anything else until that trunk is open. He's like, you could have asked nicer. Is it physically impossible for you to be polite? I'm like, no, I can be polite, just not to you. Don't worry, you're special.
Oh my God! You
right, ray of sunshine.
I'm only this much of a dick to you.
But see, that's true. That's not true at all.
No, it is. I go out of my way just to make his day worse.
You do that with nose, so that's 2 special people.
No, I don't. I just make
Are
jokes.
You sure
at his,
about
no, I,
that?
I,
Are you sure?
No, I make jokes at his expense. I do genuinely aggravating shit for him.
Ah.
But yeah, his response to me saying, "Don't worry, you're special," was, "Oh, joy."
I mean, what else is he gonna say?
That's an appropriate response.
I'm just like, oh, can't you be polite to me? Fuck no, bitch! You're a fucking asshole to me! You've literally threatened me with knives and other sharp objects several times, saying you were gonna stab me. Every single time I've tried to make jokes, offer the olive branch, not even be friends with you, just workplace acquaintances that can laugh and share stories, and then completely ignore each other's existence outside of work. Every single time I've tried to do that with him, he just goes off his fucking rocker about how I'm an evil fascist dictator. And how because I like Orange Man, clearly I am just some fucking Nazi. And it's like, dude, fuck off.
Well.
No shit, I'm not gonna be polite to you. You have the goddamn memory of a goldfish. Or that, or he's selectively remembering what he's done to me. I don't get those sorts of people. I just don't.
Would it help if I said you ain't alone?
I guess. Which is like, I tried to be nice to both of them. We got along okay at the start. And then they started talking.
For certain given values. No,
really, no. They not genuinely nice. We told jokes to each other. We shared memes. They invited me to play Monster Hunter World with them. We did that for a while, and then dipshit Bernie bro decided that he was gonna take a massive gumption with my black pill, clown pill-esque view of politics. And, his little fat minion decided to roll with it. Quite literally, because he's so fucking bulbous.
Okay, hold on. I gotta ask, cause I've seen people that are in like the 400. That's what I consider like a rolling ball.
Okay, no, he's not actually that fat. He's like 5'3", but he's also fairly fat. Like, I'm talking like Moto fat.
Ew, not a good look.
Yeah. So, I don't know, it's just like, I don't know why he had to make it political. We were getting along just fine. And then he just starts fucking ranting and raving about CNN. And like, he even had the realization at one point that I'm an absolute fucking troll, and I'll just say shit that I know gets other people mad because I find it hilarious that they're getting mad over it. And then still gets mad over it.
So, like, okay. So, he's that person that's like, I know you're baiting me.
But I will swim into the bait anyway.
He's the guy who's like, oh man, I know that's fucking bait right there, and then fucking grabs it and just jams it straight up his nose.
The bait is delicious.
And then snorts that bait like it's fucking cocaine. And it's just like, dude, what the
what are you doing with your life, man?
What are you doing?
Why are you doing this? Who hurt you?
God.
Hurt you? Where did they touch you?
As a mild example, I know a little bit off topic, but it's just to detail how fucking off his rocker he is. So he tried bringing up in the middle of break, with like 5 other employees. He tried bringing up the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and you've all heard the opinions of the other employees from the previous story. He tried bringing that whole thing up, and one of the other normie employees. All of them are very normie. Okay, very uncaring to politics in general. And one of the I was so fucking proud of them though. One of the normies goes, "Okay, like, yeah, I agree with you and all that, but like, why defund the local police though? The last guy that got shot was in January, and that's because he pointed a gun at the police and tried shooting at them." Now, like, this conversation happened like a week ago, and the last guy that got shot by the local police in my state was in January. Because he pulled a gun on cops.
Yeah.
Speaking, that's what we in the business call a losing proposition.
So it's so far removed from police abuse up here where I am right now that it's like not even an actual thought that can conceptualized in local populace that the police could be abusing their power because of just how A, how few cops we already have, and B, how few incidents we have. And then take the incidents we have, and then you have to filter it through the totally unjustified incidents that occurred. And it's like the last one that occurred was back in, I think it was 2013. If my memory of law is correct, because I had to take a law class. And we actually covered it. The last local case of police issues was in 2013. And that was because they didn't check their firing lines, and they over-penetrated on the house they were firing at, and ended up shooting a neighbor in their house.
So they didn't mean to, although hopefully that guy's no longer employed.
As far as I remember, he was the guy that got shot was like awarded damages, and he went the guy who shot him went under review and whatnot, and they were like, it ended up being just like, this is just a genuine freak accident because
I'm sure, but still,
it was a Full Metal Jacket round that ended up going through 2 walls. So they were just like, it ended up going through 2 walls and then hitting the guy in the house next door, and it was just like, what? We literally could not have predicted this.
Wait, hang on, I'm sorry. What kind? Was it the fucking SWAT team? Did they have to call in SWAT for this other house?
Oh yeah. There was a SWAT team. Yeah.
I was like, bullets don't normally penetrate that. It was a Full Metal Jacket. Wait, what?
There was a Full Metal Jacket on a rifle. Yeah, I probably should have mentioned that, but yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here like, well, that's weird. Did they just all manage to somehow hit the same hole?
As of note, the person they were firing at on purpose is dead.
I should expect
probably
so.
For the best.
I should expect so. That oh.
Yeah, it was a drug dealer, and he was armed, and so the police just said, okay, and then called in SWAT and just basically just hit out his house. And just were like, yeah, you know what, fuck this, we're not gonna breach and enter, we're just gonna shoot the house up.
Could fight you.
We have rounds that pierce walls, we got this.
People, it's no wonder foreign countries view us in the light they do sometimes. I can't blame them. With stories like this.
We could breach and enter and take this guy down, or we could just his house until he stops firing back. Which is why the court case happened in the first place, because the guy was like, they were literally just unloading on the house, and then I got shot because of it.
To be fair, completely justified on that man's part.
The judge was like, all right, yeah, you do raise a good point on that one.
Sir, you make an excellent point. We're just going to not even look at his case. Take your money and go home.
Yeah, here's damages. Please go away.
It ended up being dragged out a bit because the police department was trying to say that they shouldn't be held responsible for basically a 1 in a million chance of something occurring. Which, I mean...
Okay, sure, but police departments also tried to say that they shouldn't be held responsible for completely destroying somebody's house when they tried to roust a violent criminal from it. Like, destroyed it so badly that the city then dubbed it Condemned.
I mean,
ooh.
Yes, they did do that.
Granted, let's be clear, not the Vermont Police Department, but...
Oh, no, they condemned the house afterwards.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking about the house...
Oh, I thought you were still talking about Vermont!
But see, that just proves my point, right? Like, the police will say just about anything.
No, you see, Judge, we had to level the house with the law rocket launcher. It was completely necessary to use local napalm ordnance on it.
And if you're about to ask us why we have that, it was Thursday.
I still love the fact that there are some police departments out there who legitimately have APCs, not because they went out on purpose to buy the APCs, but because the local military bases went to them and said, hey, look, we're getting rid of these APCs, they're being replaced by something new, but, you know, it costs a lot of money to transport this thing to the place where it's supposed to be decommissioned. Would you guys just like to buy it instead for, like, 50% off? And the police department was like, well, we have the budget for it.
See, and that's where I go, we have the budget to buy an APC, but not the budget to pay cops well enough to prevent them from making spurious arrests at 5:30 so they get overtime pay.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Or casual civil.
You see, Atin, it's called discretionary funds.
I know, and that's why I'm like, I don't agree with defund the police. I do agree with reallocate these funds in a sensible direction, please. Thank you.
Refund the police, put it towards the police, and not the police's food budget.
Yeah, look, my local PD does not need a margarita machine. What they do need are raises so that they don't try to ticket me on the last Tuesday of the month to make a quota.
What was it? I think it was Houston. The Houston, Texas PD. They got caught with a FOIA request on their budget. And someone tweeted at them like, why is there $15,000 in snacks as a deductible? And they're like, oh, well, you see, they are long-lasting preserved snacks for the officers to boost morale. And the jet skis?
I mean, at least I could buy the snack one. And the jet skis. You saw those, did you?
And they were just like, we're not taking further questions.
Yeah, I fucking bet not.
But see, here's the thing, right? That's when you double down and go, there was a, right?
Vital
we had
to
raid
employee morale.
That's when you double down and go like, we had to raid a drug yacht.
Vital to employee morale. Anyway, so this is tonight's story. Did I link this into chat already? I did. Good.
Yes, you are very clever.
Yes. The Silver-Eyed Beast of Remnant, which just makes me die inside. Honestly, the title itself makes me die inside a little bit. It's not exactly an original title or a really creative title. Like, I can understand not having overly creative titles. I sort of get it, right? Like, not everyone's going to be super creative. Sometimes your story is hard to describe. And if you were creative enough to come up with really good titles, you'd probably be writing your own story and publishing it. Let's be real here. I mean, that's effectively what Core is doing, so. But like, like it took me like 5 seconds to come up with Ship Shape. That's the name for Arn's Harry Potter Azure Lane crossover. Ship Shape.
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. You know?
Yeah, no, I'm like, hey, it's just funny enough for me to give it a fanfiction pass.
You know, it's not like super creative or super original, but it's just like, oh yeah, you know, I get it. You know, I get it, yeah. The Silver-Eyed Beast of Remnant by Shadow Knight Destroyer.
Oh my god. My soul hurts.
Then you have this. You have this, what you need alcohol for, you know? You drink till you drop, till you're dead, till your heart stops.
Sneaky, I highly don't recommend that in your case. I doubt your heart can take it.
My heart can, in fact, not take it. Woo! Let's get started. Ooh, that burns like a motherfucker. Ooh, 95 rye. That is getting close to wood grain alcohol.
Yeah, by the way, what happened to you saying you didn't want to buy the 5-gallon bucket, Sneaky?
Okay, look, first off, bucko. I'm not drinking industrial alcohol. Second off, I'm not that desperate yet.
Yet?
You know, see, this is exactly what I tell people at work. I always answer with maybes and probablys and non-affirmative answers because I have no idea what's going to happen in my life, okay? I gave up trying to figure out what the fuck was going on in my life. Like, 6 years ago. Because honestly, I didn't think I was going to live past 20, so I didn't really plan for that.
I mean, that's fair.
It's also really sad.
With life comes grim.
I mean, look, there was a point when I was making life decisions where I was like, why am I planning for the next 2 years? I plan on jumping off a bridge in 1.
That's fair. I was more of the angle of not suicide, but literally just because my lung sickness was getting so severe at the time, before it started really cooling down in my sophomore years at college. That, you know, Max can attest to this. I was literally like comatose for a week, some months, like just barely could even get out of bed, basically. And I was like, well,
there
I met
were
you in
false
college.
firsts.
You were
Yeah.
When I met you in college, you were
junior,
mostly okay.
Yeah, I was getting a lot better in my junior year. But, you know, I haven't gotten gratuitously sick this year. I think this is the first year that I haven't been incapacitated by the sickness that I had. And I, mind you, I got this a decade ago. It took me a fucking decade to reach the time where I did not have crippling illness in a year. But yeah, no, because I was just like, if this gets any worse, because I was literally at a point of coughing up blood at that time, and I was like, if this gets worse, I'm literally going to die. So I was just like, life choices don't fucking matter anymore.
Why would I plan?
But you know, here I am, washed up piece of shit.
Still regrettably alive.
Hosting a podcast for 2 people.
Of which, let's be real, the backup host, at least one of the backup hosts, is, you know, watching.
I guess. With life comes grim, and with grim comes death, and with death, pain. And with pain, the dark side. Yet even so, that will not stop him, a single warrior, a beast, obtaining the one thing he truly desires. That one thing will send him on a journey with friends who will help him complete the dream. Alternate version, Beast of Remnant. OC times 4 girls. 2 of those girls being fucking Velvet and Cinder.
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong here.
Honestly, I personally believe, Pedro, that Twitch squelches my podcasts. Because, you know, we used to hit like 30 unique viewers every single time. And now we're lucky to hit 7.
I mean, let's be fair here. That was for like what, a 1 to 2 month period at most.
Oh no, that was like that was for the summer month. That was like from May to September of 2 years ago. Also, oh fucking shit, guys, we have like 3 months left. Until we've been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah, I would say, we also have 3 months left until World War III. Coincidence?
This is the OC version of this story with changes. What? The reason why I have released this version is to see how it does in comparison to the other version. And also to see if I should keep it, though can't update it all the time. Since this is an alternative AU of the Beast of Remnant, it will have things that are the same, but there will also be changes. Also, thanks to the people who helped me. Rip those fucking people, Jesus Christ. Sorry for long paragraph explanations on the outfit the character is wearing, but I'll only be doing it for this chapter. Okay, I have to know. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh.
You really don't.
Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I just want to point out, I think this is one of the first times on air that didn't involve child touching that Sneaky's gone no.
Is the Beast of Remnant something we've looked at, by the way? What
it's
is
possible.
this? Martha, what is this profile?
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
I'm worried. Oh, God. Okay. Hello, I am Shadow Knight Destroyer, and these are my stories. They include mostly Dark Naruto turned Good Naruto, but each story happens in a different universe, so I mostly focus on them having dark personalities. And I just sort of kept doing it. Basically, my stories happen in a multiverse of Narutos. Basically, I love doing many crossovers, though it can get confusing when I have too many crossovers doing the same thing. All these stories center my DXD story, which involves every other story in a multiverse crossover event. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, God. The stories in general may sound as if I just made an OC with Naruto's name, but it does sound like that, but I'm just trying to get better at writing them. Sadly...
Your stories or your OCs with Naruto's name?
Sadly, I can't find a beta reader to make my stories better. No matter how many times I post on an author's note that I'm looking for beta readers to make my stories better.
That's because nobody likes you.
Also, I apologize for the many grammar mistakes I have. It's just how I get words mixed up and my fingers pressing the wrong buttons. Autocorrect doesn't work. The writing style has gotten much better from the start. Yet,
God
I
has
make
deemed you are a mistake and that you must perish.
Oh wow, that's kind of wow. This is a real fucking dick jerking finisher, though. Anyways, open to anyone willing to help me, since I need to improve my work so more people can love my stories. Oh god, let's see, the fucking beast of oh, I think we have covered one of his stories before. Naruto the Demon Shinso, apparently. What is this fucking summary? Naruto of the Numbers. This story will be about Naruto possessing his own number cards. Naruto will get strong for hate, but then he gets reminded that hate doesn't make people strong.
Oh, okay, that's a Yu-Gi-Oh thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fucking numbers 1 through 100. That was the new mechanic too that they added.
I don't get it.
It's pretty well received as far as the physical card game goes. But yeah, no, that basically they're uber powerful cards, but I'm not sure how the fuck you cross this over with Naruto.
You see, he finds a deck, and by finding the deck, he unlocks the Yu-Gi-Oh verse. And
well, no, see, Sneaky, the real shitpost should be Naruto and the Deck of Many Things.
That would actually be very good, to be honest.
I'm sure that already exists somewhere.
Naruto the Wild Ninja. Every single time he casts a jutsu, he has to roll the D100 Wild Mage table.
Sneaky. He tries to do shadow clones, and every single one of them gets their own individual batch of Sakura blossoms.
My favorite one is just the you explode for was it hit die D10 damage, I think. It's just like, oh, okay.
No, then there's what's the one where you just do necrotic damage to everyone around you?
That.
It sounds like this table gets really busted with a man who can make literally 1,000 clones of himself.
Well, no, you see, the thing is that in D&D, the Wild Mage table is actually a DM punishment proc. The Wild Mage can only purposely do it like once per long rest, but the DM can punishingly do it to them. In exchange for them like getting the spell table refreshed and whatnot.
Well, yeah. So the way it works is, the way it's supposed to work is, anytime you cast a spell first level or higher, the DM can be like, roll a d20. If you fail, wild magic.
I don't like how the system works, because the DM can just basically neuter your character by never having you roll for wild magic.
Yeah, I know.
But at the same time, they built the entire...
Because remember, wild magic is supposed to be a punishment.
I'm aware, but the class itself is also built entirely around the idea that your DM is wild magicking you.
Yeah.
And so it's got a lot of nice benefits to it, but those benefits require wild magic being used on you.
Mm-hmm.
And so if your DM never does it, you run out of spells super quick, you barely do any damage, you're incapable of doing anything else, and so you're just sitting there like, DM, can you wild magic me? And he's like, no, I don't like it. It's like, well, fuck, okay. Might as well just kill my character so I can make a new one.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
bye,
Sneaky.
Pedro.
I think the one you were thinking of was 7 to 8. You cast Fireball as a 3rd level spell centered on yourself.
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing I appreciate about the Wild Magic table is it's the only thing in 5e that still has gag results on, right? One of the things that was fun about Pathfinder and 3.5 was there were gag magic items, right?
Yeah.
What's that magic item do? It's a belt that's just... you think it's a belt of giant strength, but it's actually going to give you tits. Or a dick.
It's the belt of gender change, yeah.
Yeah.
Always a great one.
Or
the cursed item of identify, where if you identify the cursed item, you now can no longer identify items unless you shout at the top of your lungs, identify blank item, and bang the ring on it.
Or, one of my personal favorites is
super specific.
Oh yeah, super
that's what made
gaggy.
him great. Or like, there's the shield of arrow deflection. That's actually a shield of arrow catching.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of cool, but I bet it's made of leather or some shit.
Oh no, it's still a functional shield. It's just right. You might be like, yes, I shall deflect these arrows, and then what you've actually done is make it so that every ranged projectile fired for the next 6 rounds is literally coming for you. You might still be able to block it with your AC, but they're all coming to you.
Yeah.
So say a wizard uses it because he doesn't want to get shot by crossbows.
Or the more silly magic items, like the unending urn of water, where you can take
that's not really a gag item. I'm talking about the one.
It's not. I said it's just a silly magic item that they removed.
Yeah. Okay.
Where you can take a full round action to, quote, gush water from the urn as if it was a fire hose in an unending stream. You must succeed a strength save or fortitude check to brace yourself properly or be moved back 5 feet by either holding the urn or being hit by the water. People have made jetpacks out of them.
Oh yeah, no, it's all kinds of dumb stuff. Or what's another? Or for instance, there's this is one of my favorite cursed items. There's a tiny doll.
And
it's just a tiny little child's doll. The book says that it's ugly. But it doesn't actually matter, right? It's just a tiny little kid's doll.
Super creepy too. You always get
if you're nice to it, right? If you try to throw it away, the following night you have horrible nightmares of all of your close allies abandoning you and or murdering you. And then the doll is back the next day.
Okay.
If you shove it at the bottom of your backpack, you have nightmares about being buried alive. If you throw it into water, you have nightmares about drowning. But if you leave it out hanging on your belt or the outside loop of a backpack or riding on your shoulder and you don't try to throw it away, nothing happens. And sometimes it says things like, I love you, daddy or mommy. And the only way to get rid of it is to get someone else to willingly take it.
Fucking sorry, but you just said hanging on the loop of outside your backpack, and my brain immediately generated the idea of hanging it from a noose on the outside of your backpack.
That listen, if I was the DM and one of my players did that, I'd be like, you have dreams of being drawn and quartered.
Honestly, I'd just be like, the doll is extremely confused, rolling a D100 to see what it chooses.
Well, and one of my favorite parts about it is, right, that cursed item, when we say nightmares, Max, we're not just saying bad dreams, wherein you suffer points of exhaustion. No, the doll casts the spell Nightmare on you, which makes you... Sneaky, what is it? 3d10 psychic?
Yeah, you take psychic damage, you get a minus check to will saves.
Well, no, that all comes from the exhaustion.
Yeah, right.
But, like, it's
guaranteed
it's just
1 point
the
of
dumbest
exhaustion.
thing.
Yeah.
It's just this, like, all the player has to do is be nice to it, and nothing happens to it.
You put your hand on the chest.
That sounds hard.
You see, my DM liked throwing mimics at us. One of my old DM, but not my oldest DM.
Wait, Sneaky, did he ever throw the muscle mimic at you?
He did not. But he did like throwing mimics at us, and he knew that I would absolutely, as a pirate, deviate from the path if it meant getting treasure. So one day he put a treasure chest on this, like, cursed section puzzle, jumping puzzle, where, like, you had to guess which platforms were safe, and, like, the everything led down to this, like, dark void, but it was actually a darkness spell, making you unable to see the bottom, and he really liked his puzzles, okay? And platforming. But it was hilarious because I was the only one in my party that could jump, because I put points in a jump because I'm a pirate.
What else are you gonna put it in?
Use rope.
No, but, like, I'm like, what else would you possibly put it in? There's literally nothing.
Yeah. So I put points in the jump and use rope. And my DM's like, why the fuck do you have points in jump and use rope? I'm like, because fuck you, I'm a pirate.
I would have gone for an argument of, I just really like doing jump rope.
That's pretty good too. But, so my character's the only one that can jump. And the DC is pretty high on this jumping puzzle. And so I'm jumping my way across. I get at the halfway mark. And the DM's like, roll perception. I'm like, okay. 20. He's like, oh. You look to your right and you spot a treasure chest sitting upon a pedestal. I'm like, oh. You know what I'm doing. So my party sees me just fucking snap to the right and go, treasure! And they're like, no, what are you doing?
You fucking fool.
So I fail the jump. But I succeed the reflex save to grab onto the ledge. And so I pull myself back up. So I go, treasure! Jump! Fall into the abyss, crawl back up, going, I gotta get this treasure! My whole party's like, just fucking activate the D! Because there's a lever at the end, there's like, it deactivates the whole jump puzzle and raises the platforms to make a non-jumping puzzle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's just a normal flat land now. And they're like, just do the lever! I'm like, no, the treasure first!
Oh my god.
So I grab the treasure chest, and the DM's like, the treasure chest was a mimic, and it tries to bite you. I'm like, well, I grapple the treasure chest, and the DM's like, okay. 1. I'm like, 18! Yes! Now, mind you, the fucking mimic's got like a plus 13 to grapple checks. And it fucking crit failed.
It botches. Wow. That...
I have a plus 2!
Oh my god.
So I'm like, yes! This treasure will be mine! And the DM's like, well, what the fuck are you gonna do grappling a mimic? I'm like, I throw myself off the ledge!
The escalation.
And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I know how deep this ravine is! The treasure chest is going first! The DM's just fucking losing it. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to let go. I'm like, ah! So we crash into the ground. I managed to grapple the chest underneath me. The chest is desperately trying to bite me during this entire time and just failing. Attack after attack.
Yeah. That DM must have been just fucking face palming so hard, like he's getting away with this.
So I pile drive the fucking thing into the ground. We fall like 60 fucking feet. I have like 5 HP left. The treasure chest has 5 HP left. I'm like, I fucking punch it! Because you can't use weapons against a mimic. And so I'm desperately punching this thing for 1d4 damage. And I managed to get a crit punch off with maximum damage. And so I finally kill the fucking thing. And the DM's just like, you sit there panting on the ground, profusely bleeding from across your entire body as you've likely broken, or at least, what's the term for cracking
bruised?
No, like,
not shattered?
Not completely broken bone, basically.
Fractured?
Fractured, yeah. It likely fractured multiple bones in your body. What's the treasure? It's the boots of Elvenkind. Yes!
I mean, those are some pretty swanky boots.
Hey, it was plus 15 move speed to a character that already had a base move speed of 55. I love my class build.
Oh boy.
30 feet max is the default for most races. So I was like, zoom.
I mean, that's not even talking about the shenanigans you could get up to with a monk.
Yeah, I know, right? But I also took travel discipline, which is why my move speed was boosted so high. But travel discipline max is a feat that allows you to make a full round attack, even though you've moved that turn. And a full round attack is where you do all of the attacks available to you that round instead of just a single attack.
So the important thing to explain is how attacks worked in that version of D&D.
Yeah, you really don't need to.
Well, no, because you couldn't make all your attacks unless you took a full round attack.
Well, that's what I just said. All the attacks available to you versus the one you could have normally just taken. Which also stacked with my Champion of the Wild subclass, which allowed me to gain multi-shot and advanced multi-shot by level 7. Allowing me to shoot 9 arrows per turn, with skirmish damage applied to all of them, and they can all individually crit. All at separate targets. At my discretion. My DM did not like me. He especially did not like me, as this was a pen and paper game and not online, when he asked me to roll damage for my full round attack the first time I did it. And I took out a literal box of dice, a new box of dice. And he's like, oh, how many dice do you need for this? I'm like, all of them. And I just upended the box onto the table. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, I'm actually serious. I counted. I need every last one of these dice.
I counted. I do need all the dice.
Me and the DM do not like each other too much. But anyway, that's distracting from these garbage
To be fair,
stories.
That might be because you're an antagonistic cunt.
I might be. Also, you know what? I gotta give credit where credit's due. The guy does write sequels to his stories and actually completes most of them. Yeah, most of these stories are in fact completed. Until it gets to this point. This is where the stories start not being completed as often. But, you know, still here and there, completed. I can't actually find Beast.
Wait, the war with the beast, Sneaky?
Silverite. Yeah, no, so the non-OC version of this story no longer exists. Oh. You know, I bet people are like, oh my god, all this guy does is just talk about himself, and he never actually covers fanfiction. Well, kids, this is why I don't cover fanfiction. Get ready, because this is an entire fucking window of text. Where's the bathroom on this thing? Spoke one young man who was walking fast throughout the ship, headed towards Beacon Academy. He had to use the bathroom badly and didn't bother checking where one was at while he was on until he had to go to the bathroom. That is correct. You heard me read that precisely. Not a single word added or removed from that sentence. And didn't bother checking where one was at while he was on until he had to go to the bathroom. Read it and weep, boys. Thank you, Adam.
I just looked up to see a block of text, and God, I know I'm bad about that from time to time, but holy shit!
You were never this bad. You were like half screen bad.
Listen, all right. All my stuff was at least interconnected, and I was still smart to be like, okay, I can split a paragraph here because it's different details.
This entire paragraph, Max, is just for his outfit.
Oh no!
It's just outfit descriptions.
I just saw. This is literally just the appearance of this person. Oh, God.
His outfit consisted of a jacket made out of leather while being brown in color. The front of the jacket was open while it had full sleeves, and length of it is also long, with it hiding a wolf tail underneath. So it's an overcoat. There's no such thing as a jacket that is long enough to hide a tail. It's called an overcoat.
I mean, I guess it could be like a pea coat or a storm coat.
That's still a coat, not a jacket. They are different, however.
Yes, but it's not an overcoat.
A pea coat. Let's see what's a pea coat.
A pea coat's sort of like a half trench coat in a way.
Yeah, it's a half. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know that a pea coat would cover that.
That wouldn't cover up a tail, though. No. Storm coat.
Storm coats are a big thing in Chicago.
That might that would cover up a tail. That would not. That might that wouldn't cover up a tail.
Well, I mean, it depends on where. It depends on where it's centered and how big it is.
Yeah. Okay. The reason why I called it an overcoat is because he specifically said it was made from leather.
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes? Question mark? What does 20 minutes mean?
I think Gray means he was gonna try to be on in 20. Fuck if I know.
I
Gray,
guess maybe.
Gray dies in 20 minutes?
Texas explodes. T-minus 10 minutes.
Ah, good. We can finally be rid of the stain that is Texas.
Under it was an outfit.
Really?
Yes.
And here I thought this was about Naruto the nudist.
I thought he was just gonna go around flashing people.
Oh god.
Yeah. So his outfit consisted of a jacket that was super long and leathery. Under his outfit was an outfit.
Another
Horror!
outfit.
He wears two outfits, you see. He wears one outfit that has clothes, and the other outfit is a jacket.
Yeah, of course.
So he
Silly me.
he wears two outfits. It compromises. It compromises. I think that's the wrong tense. I think you're looking for the word. It is comprised of.
No. Compromises.
Oh, it comprises. Sorry, and so he was right. My brain was deleting letters because it wanted to be amusing. Thank you, brain. I appreciate the alcohol I give you. Of a light brown vest that is unbuttoned, with a cream-colored shirt under it, alongside a brown cowboy hat. On your vest?
Wait, what?
Apparently
Impressive. Weird, but impressive.
Wait, is he wearing the cowboy hat on his head, or is the cowboy hat underneath his vest? Because it says here that his vest is unbuttoned with a cream-colored shirt under it alongside a brown cowboy hat. Well, I can assume that he obviously means that the part of the outfit is him wearing a cowboy hat. The way he has it written is saying that the cowboy hat is under his vest.
Yeah, that's...
I really wish we were popular just for moments like these, because I really want an artist to like sketch out this sort of shit where it's like he's wearing one jacket, but then like he has a vest over his head so the cowboy hat can be underneath the vest.
What was the Naruto that needed like 5 arms?
Oh yeah, he was
read a book.
He was reading a two-handed book while he was putting clothes on, rubbing his head as he looked out at the sunset.
Right.
On a cliff.
That one.
Which, I mean, Naruto can actually sort of do by just creating shadow clones to do things for him as he does other things. But it was just really weird anyway. Tied on around the neck is a red bandana. Now, as for the rest, the rest of what? The rest of his outfit? The rest of his neck? The rest of what's under his vest? Well, the belt is black in color, with a gold buckle. Attached to it are holsters on each side of the hip, with an additional space for a whip in the back. I am physically dying. I am physically dying. Why couldn't he just say he was dressed like an American cowboy? Like, what is this, like, vividly wrong description of what a cowboy wears in a stereotype?
I'm not sure. It is fascinating, though.
Also, dual wielding revolvers. Well, yes, it is really cool. The idea of doing that's really cool. Revolvers are a bitch to reload, especially if you don't have any fucking hands to do it with.
Yeah.
Like, you can sort of dual wield pistols because it is just a single magazine you can use, and you can kind of just like grab the magazine with your like forefinger and your thumb and index finger, and then like pull it out and then like slide it in, because you can just hit the release with your thumb, and then you can slide it in, and then like rack it on your arm. Yeah, you can do that. That's infinitely easier than hitting the release, pushing the cartridges out, then one by one reloading them with a gun in your other hand, and then doing it with the other gun while your one revolver is loaded. So you gotta be really watching that trigger finger.
Yeah.
Because, I know this might sound like a dumb question, is I can't remember safeties on a revolver.
The
Modern
safety
revolvers do have one.
I don't know anything about that, but generally the safety on a revolver is, it's a revolver.
Yeah,
That hammer takes a lot of force to pull back.
that's what I was saying. It was like basically the safety on a revolver is if it's single action until you draw back that hammer manually, it's not firing, and if it's double action, the amount of pull you have to put on the trigger it is massive to make that thing fire.
Which, of course, always makes for a great gag when you see old shows like, oh, hey, he nearly shot his foot off with his revolver. Why would he holster it with the hammer pulled out?
Yeah,
like
why would you holster it with the hammer up, bro?
How-
what are you doing?
What are
Bro,
you?
what are you doing?
It's like, hey, you want to see my day go from like 60 to 0 real fast?
You want to watch me do it self-inflicted?
Hey, want to watch me shoot myself in the foot? Want to see me do it again?
Oh.
Oh god. Anyway, blah 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 blah. Blah. The bottoms. The bottoms. The bottoms of what? You mean
Yes.
pants? His pants are dark brown in color. I think this guy's British.
No, I was mistaken. Most single-action revolvers do not have an external safety.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
they
about to say,
don't.
I have-
Yeah,
I've never heard of a revolver with a safety. So
yeah.
They
like I said,
they do, however, have a quote-unquote half-cock safety.
Okay, yeah. I like I said, like I said, it was a little bit of a stupid question, but at the same time, it's like I've handled a lot of revolvers, and I don't remember ever being a safety on one of them.
I wonder if gunsmiths ever get like, oh, hey, can you put a safety on this revolver, by the way? And they just get that far off look of like, oh my god.
Honestly, I died a little bit inside when I was on Reddit Gunsmith,
Oh no.
That
and
should be good.
this guy was like, I work in California. My main job is making guns compliant with the most recent ordinances.
Oh
We're out of work.
boy.
And I died a little bit inside today because, picture taken, I was sent this today. It's a Walther 2000 rifle. There is only like 18 in existence still or something. And he was like, yeah, I was asked to modify this to be Californian compliant.
What does California compliant even mean in this instance?
I don't know what it means, but basically he was being asked to modify a collector's item.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely worth a like, what is wrong with you moment, but
I was just like,
Wait, why are they trying to turn a collector's item into an actual firing piece? What the fuck is wrong with them? Oh my god.
because
They might want to use it.
No, it's because you're not in California. You're not allowed to have a working firearm that is not compliant, even if you don't ever use it. Like, even if it's a display piece and you've never removed it, or like, even if you keep it locked in your safe forever.
Okay, so at that point, I feel like the appropriate thing would have been like, I just want you to remove the firing pin from this or something.
Yeah, I know.
Like that would have been better.
Well, and here's the thing, right? Surely, as a professional, you have a professional duty to, one, inform the person of the value of the item they have, and that, right, I can simply remove the firing pin and then give it to you, thus allowing you to be compliant because this is a non-functional weapon and not diminish the value, right? Because this is not quite the same thing. But as an example, my father has golf clubs that still have wooden heads, right?
Oh shit.
And one year for his birthday, because he'd had those clubs for 30 years, give or take, right?
Right, yeah.
And the grips, they still had the original grips. And so the grips were like, it was disgusting. Like, you held them and it was like grabbing oatmeal, right?
Right, oh yeah, no, the rubber must be fucking shredded on them.
Oh, God, it was disgusting.
Yeah, my grandfather had his own set, yeah.
Right, but so we went to get him re-gripped. And every golf shop we went to, because we went to get quotes for the re-gripping, because it's not cheap.
Yeah, obviously no.
But every store we went to, they were like, can we sell these for you? We can make a lot of money off of this, both of us.
Yeah, I mean, original wood golf clubs, yeah, 30 years antiquity, yeah.
And because, thank God, I love my father. He's kept them in. I mean, they're not in like perfect condition because they're used, right? But they're in, right? They are in 100% serviceable, playable condition.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. That would go for a pretty fucking penny. Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, right? Where like as the professional
involved, yeah.
Like, surely you have a duty to tell your customer, like, just in case you don't know what you have here.
Yeah. Somehow, if you somehow don't know what you have here,
right? But right, like, let's say that guy got his Walther 2000 from his grandfather or someone, right?
Right. I understand what you're saying, but it's just like, But yeah, as far as the firing pin goes, real quick before we get back to the story and continue laughing at this shit fest. The McCloskeys, you guys hear about the McCloskeys?
No.
Down in St. Louis.
Oh yeah, them.
Yeah, they all the charges got dropped against them, as far as I'm aware, because when the police did an investigation on their firearms that they seized illegally, the firearms that the police seized illegally, they found out that the firing pins on all of them had been turned around.
Just a point of order. The police did not illegally seize those firearms.
Yes,
there was a sneaky. There was supposedly a warrant to investigate.
An unjustified warrant.
The police did not issue that warrant. The police served what was at the time a lawful warrant. If and when the court determines that such a thing is unlawful, the cops who served it are not at fault. It's the fault of whoever issued and requested the warrant, not the serving officers.
I was just following orders.
That applies to unlawful orders.
Anyway,
No, Sneaky, that applies to shoot those civilians.
that applies to everything.
But Sneaky, that was put in place for war crimes. First of all, war crimes. That doesn't apply to police officers who, as has been quite the discussion...
It applies to violations of the Constitution of the United States of America.
But once again, those officers were serving what they had mostly no reason to believe was an unlawful warrant. Because...
Why not? No shots were fired, a full video of the entire scenario was taken, no one was injured, and the McCloskeys were fully within their legal rights as they are in a constitutional carry state in a castle law doctrine area. They actually had full legal rights to open up on the rioters.
None of those people... No, they didn't. None of those people entered their property.
No,
they entered private... Sneaky! They entered private property, but they did not enter the McCloskeys' property.
Actually,
they stayed on the street.
No, they actually did enter the property. The gate was broken down.
The street is not their property.
Actually,
the homeowners association's property,
which they own a share of, as that is a private residency that
but
everyone
it does not
in
make
that
it their
homeowners
sole
association...
possession.
No, but as castle doctrine dictates, you can defend others' property as well as your own with lethal force if you believe you are in danger. And I would say a mass of 30-plus people showing up to start scream and shout and throw shit at you after having broken through your private property
fence. The screaming and shouting did not begin until guns were produced.
No, they broke through private property. I don't fucking care.
Yes,
well, that
but Sneaky,
gate was just opened initially. Someone in the back decided to break it for good measure for some reason. There is video showing them walking. They literally just opened the gate and just walked through.
Yeah,
it's still trespassing if the gate isn't locked.
Oh no, it's still trespassing. That is still private property.
Yes, it is still trespassing. But Sneaky, regardless of castle doctrine, the McCloskeys did choose to escalate the situation.
No, I don't think they did. That's just going to be a difference we're going to have because...
I don't think you understand how escalation works. If there's someone on my property and they aren't destroying it, yes, the gate was destroyed after the fact. It was not destroyed by the initial crowd. They aren't destroying my property. Yeah, they aren't wielding weapons. They aren't placing anybody at harm or risk.
I couldn't give a shit. If someone comes onto my property and they brought 35 of their fucking friends and I tell them to get the fuck out and they start screaming and shouting at me, I'm gonna fucking pull a firearm and start firing, especially if I'm in a castle doctrine state. Fuck them, it's my property.
But once again, my point is they did choose to escalate. I understand what you're saying, yes, the warrant was decreed to be unlawful.
Yeah, right, exactly. But regardless, their firing pins were turned because it turns out they're actually lawyers that handle gun crime laws.
Well, no, let's be clear. The husband is the one who knows what he's doing with guns, which I do find it very curious that
he scanned over his wife several times.
Huh?
The way they handled the weapons was nothing like what you would be taught to do in a safety course.
Also makes a lot more sense that they handled the weapons that way, knowing it was physically impossible for the weapon to fire.
Yeah.
It literally was the equivalent of like pointing a hockey stick at someone and going pew pew pew.
Yes. The advantage being
no matter how much you go pew 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 with the hockey stick, it's not gonna suddenly start shooting bullets.
Yeah.
Though that would be something. make finger gun at someone. Pew pew. Suddenly, laser shoots out, incinerating them.
Pew.
But back to this garbage ass story. Like, holy. Oh god, he's got like 4 sentences for his hair. Anyway, so using a British idiom for pants, for some fucking reason.
Really?
Yeah,
What did he use?
he calls them bottoms.
I mean, technically that's what they are, and that's how they're probably referred to on most websites.
Most websites that specifically only serve a British local populace.
No, like I know there are like I'm sure Amazon has a section where it's like, anyway, yes, it's not a common phrase. You're correct about that.
You know what? No, I gotta know now. Amazon.
I feel like what's going to come up is going to be like pajama bottoms.
Probably, yeah. Because that's the only thing I've ever heard. Yeah, no, I'm not.
I mean, some of those are pants. For a loose description of pants.
Loose description of pants. Very
Still
loose
pants,
description
though.
of pants.
Still pants.
Yeah, but not exactly what he's trying to describe here.
True. However, I'm just content with not being completely wrong.
So far, he has in fact pretty much described every single thing wrong so far. Like, he's described the hat being underneath his vest. He described a jacket, but then described it as an overcoat instead of a jacket. So pretty much every single thing he's described so far hasn't been what he said it is. Anyway, so the bottoms are a dark brown in color, and then to top it all of are a pair of boots with stirrups, of which the boots are...
Stirrups?
Yeah. Which the boots are the same color as the bottoms. You could just say dark brown boots. I don't know why you need to be like, the boots are the same color as the aforementioned bottoms are. Dark brown boots.
Can you not just say the boots are brown?
No, apparently not. Also, walking around with stirrups is very not recommended. I've done it. It's awkward.
Hold on a minute. Explanation required.
No explanation is gonna be given.
So we can assume it was either Halloween or he lost a bet.
Or he went through a gay cowboy phase.
I wasn't the one that went through the cowboy phase, but there was a gay cowboy phase of someone. And I may have acquired their boots.
Was it your father?
We're moving on.
Oh my!
And under his hat, which was apparently under his vest, was his multicolored, spiky hair. You can't wear a hat. Like, if it's the kind of spiky hair, like the literal punk rock spiky hair. Because that's like the only shit I can think of, unless they're talking about like hair that is literally spiky. The hair wouldn't be spiky if it was underneath a hat. Consisting of the biggest portion being blood red, while the rest of the hair being consisted of dark purple, light green, and blue. The purple spike seemed to be the only one that glowed. And from said hair, 2 animal ears could also be seen. So yeah, it is literal. He has his hair in literal punk rock spikes while wearing a hat underneath a vest. With animal ears.
I see.
I don't really know how a cowboy hat and animal ears are gonna pan out, though. I feel like that would cause issues. Especially dog ears. That is kinda... They're kinda really in an inconvenient position. His eyes were also odd in color, as one eye was silver and the other was dark purple. Okay, but like, when I do this with my characters, I have like actual reasoning for that shit. Mostly because I'm blind in one eye, so I like making the character blind in one eye. So typically I make their eye milky. Or if I can't do a scar with milky eyes, I typically make them glow or some sort of signifier. But you're just doing it to be edgy. He's not even edgy enough for me to put the edgelord banner up. He's just like cringe. There's like no edge, just cringe.
Maybe it's time for
no
a new
edge,
banner.
only cringe.
Maybe it's time for the cringe banner.
There is no cringe banner. Unfortunately.
Maybe it's time we consider making one.
Well, maybe. But we would just have to leave that up the entire time, though. So I don't know if that's too good of an idea. Well, one was purple.
Out of all the banners.
While he was walking in a hurry, he passed one guy laying down on a seat with a hat shielding his eyes from the light. Hearing the sound of someone walking by caused him to move his hat to see what was happening. He had a fair tan with olive green eyes. On the right side of his face and chest are 2 scars that form X's.
So this entire thing is literally just appearances for 2 different characters, and that's really hard to see at a glance because it's a wall of text.
It's a giant wall of text meant to describe 2 completely separate characters. Especially since we haven't gotten any facial descriptions of the previous character, and then the first thing the author does is just start describing the face of the other character. And it's just like, wait, hold on, who are we talking about?
I kind of just... Yeah, you know what, the facial appearance isn't described until the very end. And that just immediately moved to the other person.
A brown hat you might find from 3 Musketeers with a feather that fades from white to green.
You couldn't be bothered to look up what that kind of hat was, huh?
No, you couldn't. But he apparently looked up what a jacket was and then proceeded to describe it completely incorrect. A white high-collar shirt that is rolled up to the elbow on the left arm. A brown trench coat with 4 belt strap which also cuts off just at waist, as opposed to it being a full-length trench coat. So he does know what a trench coat is.
So it's not a trench coat, it's a pea coat.
Stupid.
So it's
storm coat, not pea coat.
No, it's definitely a pea coat made out of leather. That's also really long.
What the fuck even is the difference between a storm coat and a pea coat? Because storm coats seem like they're a weird mishmash of pea coats and trench coats.
Storm coats look to be just super long jackets, while pea coats are a single material that is super long, but not flared out like a trench coat is.
Yeah, I would say, so part of the reason that storm coats exist is because people needed something that was long enough to keep, like, rain and snow, etc., off their, like, the lining of their pants, but they didn't want the bother of a full trench coat. Storm coats are also, generally speaking, lighter. Like if you like, Sneaky, you saw the pictures of the pea coat, right?
Yeah.
That's a really thick coat.
Yeah,
it's great for it's great for cold and snow.
That's why I said the pea coat is more of a single material.
Yeah, but
with varying thickness.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but it's important to pea coats are usually wool or cloth, or not plastic.
I know, but what I'm saying though is that, like, he says it's a jacket, but then he describes an overcoat.
Yeah.
But then he later on says trench coat, meaning he knows what a trench coat looks like, but still described the previous coat as a jacket that was super long.
He may be... Okay, you guys didn't know what a storm coat was. Maybe this lad didn't either.
I mean, he's British, so we would probably actually need to talk to British people. Ugh. To figure out what the fuck is going on here. Which
I'm sure storm coats originated in England, though.
Yeah, I know, but I gotta ask the British people what the fuck's going on here, because I cannot understand. Messages over 2,000 characters. Really? Wow. Okay. Let's cut this in half then, I guess. Okay. And then British people explain. Okay, that should be good. Explain, exclamation point, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Alright, so we'll get back, they'll get back to me tomorrow, and I'll be able to tell you two, at least, what the fuck's going on.
Oh boy.
Let's see, so, he's wearing a high collar shirt, but he has one sleeve rolled up on his left side, and he's wearing a trench coat. Wait, but if he's wearing a trench coat, wouldn't the sleeves on the trench coat also have to be rolled up then for the person to notice that the sleeve on the left side is also rolled up? Because a trench coat is a full-length coat, which means the arms would be covered up, which means you wouldn't know that the left side of the shirt was rolled up unless you're wearing it on the outside of the trench coat?
He does have two outfits.
No, this is the second guy we're talking about who has only one outfit. Actually, he has 0 outfits. No outfit was ever mentioned here. He just has a white collar shirt and then a trench coat, I guess, underneath the shirt.
I mean, I suppose, technically speaking, if you kept the trench coat closed completely
but
up,
it's
you
open.
don't need pants?
It's open.
Apparently
the trench
he has
coat's open.
Brown. Apparently this dude has brown pants.
But anyway, so the trench coat is a trench coat, yet it doesn't have the right flare. You know what I'm talking about, the flap for the lower right side? That's gone. I feel like he's ripping off this design from somewhere.
Is he ripping off Organization 13? No, because it's not flaring, and Organization 13 trench coats are super flared.
No, the missing trench coat.
Yeah, no.
The missing trench coat flare with a rolled up sleeve on the opposite side. I really feel like I've seen that before.
Yeah.
With half of it torn off as well. That does sound familiar.
That sounds familiar.
Just Google. Listen, first of all, that's definitely an anime design, no question.
Yeah, that's absolutely an anime. That's no doubt. He wears also cuts off on the waist as opposed to full length. He wears brown gloves, however. However, what? Wait, what? Wait, what's the injection? He wears brown gloves, however, as opposed to not wearing brown gloves? I don't understand why you're correcting anything. Like, you use however when you're like, oh, you know, he doesn't wear a coat often in Chicago. However, he also doesn't go outside very much. It's like, you use however to qualify a statement, effectively. And we just finished talking about how he wears a trench coat, and the author's like, he wears gloves, however. It's like, wait, what does that have to do with him having a trench coat on?
Yes.
Brown length, he wears brown gloves. The one on the right hand comes up the foreham, then his left. So, mismatched brown gloves? Are they leather gloves? I assume they're leather gloves.
I mean, I can only assume, but this person's an idiot, so I don't know.
I don't...
And look, for everyone wondering, why are they spending so much time dissecting these descriptions? Because the author spent so much time trying to give them to us.
Exactly, yeah, right. They spent a literal entire mega paragraph describing this clothing, and by George, I will spend a whole 2 fucking hours dissecting it.
Ripping it to pieces because they're incompetent.
The final touch is his outfit is single piece of gold, or maybe it's brass, on his right shoulder and brown pants. You mean a pauldron? Or what's that called? A skirt? Yeah, I think it's called a skirt, right?
Wait, no, hold on. A pauldron goes on your shoulder.
Yes. He said there is a single piece of gold, or maybe it's brass, on his shoulder and brown pants. So I can...
That's probably a pauldron, then.
That's what I'm saying. It's a pauldron on his shoulder, and I guess it's a single armor sheet on his skirt.
Wait, no, he has...
Like, is that what they're officially called? A fucking armored skirt?
No, an armored skirt is like...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, yeah. The armor belt.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're generally more armored than that, but yes, they did exist. Well,
not really.
They didn't. The closest would be an armored kilt, which I believe the armored kilt did exist. Also, I think believe it would have been. I think there were some Bronze Age troops that had an armored skirt.
Oh, no, the Romans did. It just, yeah, like sort of like this scale skirt. I think that's what the author is trying to say. Is it sort of was something like this, except only one side had it, but he doesn't tell you what side, and it might be gold. Which,
also, the other point, I think there's a specific name for like the one armored pauldron. Like, I think there's a very specific name for it.
I like this lamellar armored skirt. Yeah.
Why do you guys keep throwing out the term pauldron? By the way, I thought pauldrons were like a shoulder protector.
That's what. Yeah.
No, okay. So there's two different things here, Max. There's an armored skirt, and the dude has a pauldron made out of maybe brass
or gold. Yeah, it's a pauldron. It's armor of the shoulder, where a piece is separated from the body and the arm. Covers the junction. Yeah, it's pauldron.
And then I know there was a specific name for a piece of armor. Like, it's not just a pauldron, but it's a full piece of armor down the entire arm. So you basically just go block with my arm.
It probably is just pauldron, but it's another variant of pauldron.
I mean, people were real specific about naming stuff. They might have named it.
No, it doesn't. Hard armor shoulder plate.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's in. Oh shit.
I know what you're describing. Don't get me wrong.
The bland as hell guy from Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon uses it.
Yeah, no, I know what you're describing. It's. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no, it's just a full arm guard.
Okay.
With a... What's this? Spalder? Bands of plate that cover the shoulder, but not the armpit. Yeah, it's a full arm guard into spalder, probably.
That's it, yep.
Yeah. Also, Max, Atin is right. They did very odd names for very specific parts. Like... the Besayu, which is a circular plate that covers the armpit worn with spalders. Also see the Rondel.
Humanity's weird.
Oh, okay. It's what we're looking for. The armored skirt. It is actually called a lame, which is a band of steel that can articulate around the thigh, shoulder, or waist. Pieces like this are named in the number of bands, such as a fald of 4 lames. Okay. Yeah, alright. So anyway, also, Gaussette is mail that protects areas not covered by plate. Good. Alright, anyway. So, yeah, so this guy apparently is just like uneven Steven, basically, where he's only got like one thing on each side. He's only got one pauldron, and he's only got one lame.
People like you are why God insisted on a flood.
I mean, your corpse will stick out quite well when that Grim fucking eviscerates you for not having any armor on, and the armor you do have on is uneven, and so therefore unbalances you.
God, he clawed my leg! If only I'd had armor on my right leg!
Yeah, I know, right? Also, wearing gold as armor. Wearing brass as armor.
Unless your name is Gilgamesh, don't wear gold armor.
Well, unless your name is, I don't live in the negative 600th century. What do we even use for pre-BC stuff? Like, brass and bronze was like 600...
Oh, no, Sneaky. Everything okay, so there's 2 dating systems out there.
Yeah, I know.
There's the dating system you're probably most familiar with, which is...
Domini and BC, yeah.
Yeah. Everything, just everything that happened before Christ, that's it. BC. The end.
There's like century terms, like the negative 16th century.
Oh, no, what you're thinking, like, that'd be like the Stone Age. Literally, it's just the Stone Age.
Alright, so the Bronze Age. You know, we got over the Bronze Age pretty fucking quick, because everyone was just like, wow, Bronze, A, sucks. B, brass is worse. C, wow, iron is just so much cooler, and we can figure this shit out way easier than bronze. Because, another feature of the Bronze Age is that no one actually really knew where all the merchants were getting tin from.
I mean, the aliens, duh.
There was tin mines out there, but no one really knew where the tin mines were, except for the merchants. The merchants knew where the tin mines were. And the merchants weren't telling anyone. And so all the government said, wow, relying on these merchants to get us a valuable resource for both military arms and armor that both suck, is terrible, and we should stop doing it.
Okay, but here's the thing. See, at the time, it didn't, like... Yeah, it was bad, but everybody had it, and it was still better than leather and wood.
Well, yes, that is true. But still, have you ever tried chopping at someone? Also, they tried to use copper for a while, and that quickly passed as well. Have you ever tried chopping someone with bronze? It wears quickly. It wears very quickly. This tin and copper, not exactly the toughest of metals. Anyway, hey, what time is it? Questioned the one wearing the hat. Which one? The hat? They're both wearing hats. Anyway, he was staring at the guy who sat in the far end of the seat. Wait, who's sitting in the far end of the seat? One guy was laying down and the other guy was sitting. No, wait, actually, the first guy was walking. So, is this a third person? He was a Caucasian teen with brown hair that's combed to the right with white fringes with turquoise eyes. And he is wearing armor that is reminiscent of a soldier that doesn't cover the stomach. And his stomach is white. What?
This is just a disaster, and we have 5 minutes left. How about we go...
Wait. He is dressed like a soldier, but it doesn't cover his stomach. And his stomach is white. What does that mean? Of all of the fucking things in this story for you to sit there and hand wave describe, that is what you choose! He is dressed like a soldier. That is the most undefined word in existence. We didn't get a century the soldier is from. We didn't get a time period. We didn't get the country. Is he dressed like a modern Iraqi soldier? How about a futuristic American one? I don't know. Is he dressed like a Roman? Who the fuck knows?
He might be dressed like an Atlas soldier for all we know.
Yeah, he might be a Veil soldier who apparently does belly dancing on Tuesdays. I don't know. Nobody knows.
Maybe he's an Australian soldier. Or maybe he's from Vacuo. Well, maybe he's from Vacuo. You know, it gets hot out in the desert.
Gotta show off them abs, those abs of literal steel. That's my semblance.
Hey, that's all Sun does.
My semblance is that my abs are as hard as they look.
Well, alright. That's definitely a semblance.
Oh god. Anyway, also, what does that say about your soul? That your soul's unique ability is to make muscles displaying on the front of yourself as hard as the colloquial term for referring them to it.
You're either really narcissistic, or you got some serious self-esteem issues that you're trying to compensate for.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, from what is visible of the shirt, because the shirt's covered up.
Okay, you need to speed this along or just end it. It is 8:58.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna end it right at the end of this paragraph.
Okay.
I don't know why is his shirt not visible? I thought he didn't have chest armor on. Is his shirt also missing from his chest? It's only underneath. It's black and gray with rope laces on the stomach. Gay?
That's pretty gay.
Attached to his belt is a pouch, and there's another pouch on his upper left thigh. The white headpiece he's wearing wraps around the white fucking headpiece. He was currently listening to music from his earphones while looking at a scroll, swiping through until a piece of paper hit him in the head, causing him to look at Robin, who gave him a wave before pointing to his ear. Who's Robin?
I think Robin's the guy that was just introduced with the fucked up trench coat.
What? No, but it said the question, the one wearing the hat. They're both wearing hats. Who is talking? Who's Robin?
English is a very context-heavy language, but man, this author just does not understand context.
He's wearing armor, but not on the chest. But his barely visible shirt had clear laces on his stomach. Wait, what? Wait, what?
Yeah, no, just let's just end it.
I don't understand. I'm gonna copy this section and send it off, but yeah, we're gonna end it here. And surprise! my wallpaper crashed, so you guys get my default wallpaper.
Good. Good.
Why do you want that as your default wallpaper?
Because it certainly is a
It's a conversation piece.
It's an attention getter.
It wakes you up when you just minimize the window. You're just like, oh Jesus Christ!
I cannot deny the veracity of that statement.
That seems just like one of those things. Like, oh right, I forgot. I turned off my turned off the wallpaper engine. Right.
This is my background. I forgot about this. God, why?
See, my backgrounds consist of nice, calming, tranquil scenes. And then we have Sneaky.
I mean, hey man, let me just go meander my way on over to some of my old backgrounds.
Please don't.
No.
Please don't. Please don't.
It's too late for that. Desktop pics, I believe it was called. Get some old. Here we go. He's gonna get some old backgrounds for you, Atin.
Yes, that phase of your life.
Yeah, that phase of my life, indeed. Oh fucking, what else was there here? My very unoffensive. Oh yes, my weeb phase.
Do I even want to see this?
Was that actually a wallpaper you used?
This is in my wallpapers folder. Yes.
Honestly, if it wasn't for the quote, I'd be like, "No, this is some dope art." But it's the quote that really just sells it.
It's the quote that really sells it, isn't it?
Oh,
your shame is eternal.
Hey,
cocktail party.
That one's great. That's a good one.
It is a great one. This is a good one. I'm just gonna leave that up for a little bit. Oh, there's some. Oh, was this actually a background pic of mine? No, I don't think it was. I think I put it in my background pic.
You always planned to, but never did.
Just never swapped over to it. No, that was another motivational one. That I never. Oh yeah, this was a background pic for a while.
Waiting for it to.
I mean, you really don't have much room to use that.
This one was a background pic for a while for me.
Alright, anyway, I'm out of here.
Alright, goodbye.
Yeah, you should just end the stream. I need to get going too.
Yeah. That's just I'm just nostalgia trip, you know. Oh yeah, right, of course. Of course, this is in my backgrounds folder.
Wasn't that some of the promo art for Bioshock Infinite?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Oh boy. That's a big. That one's.
They even got this one. Ooh, they even got the spiciest of caricatures. I should take that down before I get banned.
Too late. It's already happening.
Oh, Bioshock. Anyway, we'll see you all on Friday, folks, because there's always more and it always gets worse.